Oh, bingo, I got action. Slip and fall. Ah! Oh, pimp down, pimp in disgrace.
Before the video begins, I actually have a Q&A coming up, so ask your questions here or on these videos that I'm going to be showing. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. It took a while for me to really talk about how I'm gonna make this video, but here it is. I sort of figured it out. It's not really like the whole entire paid weapons that sort of exist. I'm mainly going to be talking about the meta weapons that exist throughout Payday 3. The M7 Pursuivant, the FSA 12 gauge, the Adelig, and as well as the Deagle. I'm not really going to be including other weapons like the Jacknife and as well as the FIK because they're sort of balanced in a way with quotation marks. Then again, they're very good weapons, but it's not really like overpowered to the point where it's considered meta. They have their problems and they have their issues. Like the Jacknife is unable to pierce through shields and it's not able to one-tap enemies, and then you have the Castigo and the Bizon, yada yada yada, you get the gist of it. They have their problems and they're not like good to the point where it becomes meta, if that makes sense. So the weapons I listed, I'm going to be talking about their good sides and as well as their downsides, and other weapons that sort of function the same way or similar compared to the Adelig and what they do better than it. Without wasting any more time, let's get into it, starting off with the Adelig. God, I hate this rifle so much. I despise this thing so damn much. The Adeleg's high point is its capability of one-tapping enemies, both light and heavy units, with the use of edge, up to 15 meters or so. Anything beyond that, it is unable to one-tap enemies and requires you to put in another additional round to it. Another good side about it is its very good recoil and as well as its solid stability. That's it. That's the only good thing about the Adeleg. Nothing else. It has worse rate of fire, worse handling, worse reload speed, and worse ammo capacity compared to the others. And you might sit back and think, well, that worse ammo capacity is sort of forgettable because you're already one-tapping enemies, so what does it matter? Well, it's gonna really matter against enemies like shields and as well as bulldozers, and even at longer ranges. Because, for one, you have to put in an additional few rounds against the shield in order to kill them, and two, that reduced ammo magazine capacity against the dozer is going to really make a big difference, because normally it takes like 25 rounds, or if not more, to kill a bulldozer, and consider the fact that weapons like the Car 4 and as well as the AK are able to kill a bulldozer and still have ammo in their magazines, this sort of shows it. It can maybe kill bulldozers on rare occasions with face-to-face, but that is only like once in a rare blue moon. That is if you're able to hit all of your shots with your 20-round mini magazine and extra one in the chamber. Again, you have to hit all of your shots, and if the bulldozer is moving around, well, good fucking luck. And if there's a shield or enemies are like blocking your way, then also good luck with that one. You're going to be losing an armor chunk or two. Again, the Adelig high point is its capability of one-shotting enemies, and as well as its having solid recoil and as well as good stability. But again, worse handling, worse reload speed, worse rate of fire, and as well as worse magazine capacity or ammo capacity compared to the others. And that's pretty much it. The reload speed is really what's ruining me the most. You might sit back and think, well, put a quick pull mag in as well as a skill that increases reload speed. Sure, but you're still stuck with the 20-round magazine, and as well as, you know, good luck against dozers and shields and longer range targets. And you might say, well, just grab a magazine extension, and as well as reload speed increase. Yes, but then again, the reload speed is still going to be painfully slow, forcing you to literally retreat a lot, and sit back a lot, and maybe take more damage when you're fucking reloading. And yeah, let's talk about the other weapons that are able to do a better job compared to the Adelig. First off, being the AK. Well, it has worse handling and as well as having the same rate of fire compared to the Adelig, but here's the thing. Modification-wise, it is better because the Adelig, whenever you put on modifications, it rarely affects it, if not almost nothing at all, because whenever you apply a specific modification, the bar is barely going to fill. Like, take example being the hand grip, where it reduces overall vertical recoil and as well as vertical gun kick. It is barely going to affect it, but for other weapons like the Car 4, the AK, and as well as the Scar, it's going to affect it a lot more. The bar is going to increase it a lot more, meaning it's going to have a bigger impact on those weapons compared to the Adelig. Why? Balancing, I guess, with quotation marks, but either way. It's like the thing is, you can make the AK have significantly more stability, recoil, and as well as handling than the Adelig with all modifications, which is the sad part. The thing is, the AK is better than the Adelig at longer ranges because it has a much more stable recoil and as well as stability. And it can also have better handling and as well as it has a faster reload speed and as well as better magazine capacity. Even with the extended magazine, it has a faster reload speed. And the thing is, it's significantly better than the bulldozer. if you have the extended magazine, you're actually able to kill two bulldozers if you're able to land all of your shots against them. That's the best part about the AK. It is able to kill two bulldozers with one big extended magazine. And that's what makes the AK significantly better. And again, like, it's better than the longer ranges and close range because faster reload speed, better handling, and etc. The same thing can be said about the CAR 4, but is a lot more stable compared to the AK, because the CAR 4 is such a very well-handled assault rifle compared to the Adelig, because it has significantly better recoil and stability and faster rate of fire, meaning it is able to kill bulldozers quicker than the Adelig, but not faster than the AK. There's like the difference between them is that the CAR 4 is better at close range engagement because of its capability of two-tapping enemies and because of its faster rate of fire, meaning you have a faster time to kill. It's not better than the AK because the AK is better at medium ranges and longer ranges, but either way. And then you have something like the SA and as well as the SCAR. The SCAR is literally the Adelig but worse in every scenario you can think of, but because it has a capability of one-tapping light and heavy units with edge, I think it's sort of similar in a way. Again, like, the modifications have a bigger impact on the SCAR than the Adelig, and you're able to really modify it to the point where it is able to perform better than the Adelig, like having better stability, handling, and so on. And then there's the SA, which is literally better than the Adelig, the only downside being is its worse recoil and as well as its worse magazine capacity. That's it. But then again, you can have the same amount of ammo as the Adelig with the extended magazine, and it can still have faster reload speed, which is the funny part. Because the SA is able to 2-tap shields and as well as 3-tap both light and heavy units with the use of face-to-face and as well as the CQC barrel because it increases the damage of the weapon. So yeah, if there's like crowded enemies on a corridor, you're able to spam the damn thing and still be able to do a better job compared to the Adelig. And it has a better hipfire accuracy, and it also can equip a scope. And sharpshooter skills works well with weapons that have scopes, like the cutting edge and that one skill that reduces the weapon drop-off for longer ranges. Do I need to go on? Not really. No. Like I said, the AK is better than the Adelig for longer ranges because of its better recoil and as well as stability, and it can have better handling and as well as reload speed. Then there's the CAR 4 that's sort of better at close range because of its faster reload speed and as well as better rate of fire and solid and very good recoil and stability. SCAR is sort of worse, but is able to one-tap enemies, so if you can hit your shots, it sort of does the same job as the Adelig, if not literally the exact same way. And then there's the SA, which is literally better in every category except for the bulldozer. That's it. The only worst part is its stability and recoil, but then again you can sort of modify it to where it sort of nullifies it entirely. Let's look at the FSA and as well as the M7 Pursuivant. The FSA is like the best at close range, but really struggles at medium ranges because the hipfire spread and the overall spread itself is sort of wider compared to the other shotguns. And do not even try to use this at longer ranges, but you might sit back and think, well, why the fuck would I use this? It's a shotgun. Well, there's the good old Reinfield and as well as the double barrel shotgun, the Mosconi. The Mosconi, for some apparent fucking reason, is able to really kill enemies at like 15 meters or 20 meters if all the pallets hit. And considering how good of a hipfire accuracy it has, it does a better job. Like, this is literally a jack-of-all-trades type of weapon. Enemies at 20-meter range, doesn't matter. They think he's gonna fucking get rid of them entirely. And it's better at close range. While it has 2 rounds, because it's a double barrel, if you have Headhunter, Replenishment, as well as Ammo Funnel, it does a better job compared to the M7 Pursuivant and as well as the FSA, because it has a higher damage and as well as better penetration. So if you can really spam this thing and as well as hit your shots, you're able to really shred enemies like butter. The only complaint is the fact that it's unable to kill a bulldozer, but again, it is able to shred its visor with 2 hits, and if you have a very good handling and solid switching speed, you're able to literally insta-switch and kill the bulldozer very quickly without any problems whatsoever. Again, it requires you to be very precise with this. If you can't, then use the Reinfield shotgun. But then again, the Reinfield is still very good. It has better accuracy compared to the others and is able to one-tap both light and heavy units at longer ranges without having any problems. It has better damage and as well as better penetration. Slightly, but it's not really that noticeable, but it does have better penetration. That's it. The FSA is like the best at close range, but at medium longer ranges it does struggle. Again, it's a shotgun, but it sort of forces you to sort of get close to them as much as possible. But then again, it sort of depends on like where the enemies are. The biggest problem I have with the M7 Pursuivant is it's worse on wide open areas, because that delay is going to really fuck with you a lot, because there's going to be a difference between killing an enemy and you waiting for the delay to go away. Because there's been so many scenarios where I'm like constantly tapping the weapon, but because there's like a delay, I'm taking more damage than I should be. So it's not good against like enemies that are like crowded up together, or pardon me, they're like widened out together in a large open area, and it is good only on areas that are like very tight, to say at least. So yeah, the AM7 Pursuivant is better against like enemies that are like crowded up, and then FSA is good on close range entirely, but it struggles a lot at medium and longer ranges. And then you have the Reinfield shotgun, which is like better than these shotguns, but at like medium ranges. Even on close range, these things will shred like butter. And then there's the Mosconi that does better jobs than the M7 Pursuivant and the FSA because of how fucking deadly this thing is. The only problem is against bulldozers. But there's so many pistols that allows you to kill bulldozers without having any problems, so who cares? So yeah. Like I said, M7 Pursuivant struggles against like wide open maps and as well as enemies that are like widened out. The FSA sucks ass at medium ranges because of its horrible hipfire spread, and as well as, well, the hipfire spread is not bad. I'm mentioning the overall spread. The overall spread is basically like how wide the hipfire is going to be after every shot. That's what it determines essentially. So yeah, don't even try to use this at longer ranges because it sucks ass. Just use the Mosconi or a Reinfield shotgun. Finally, we're getting into the Deagle. Oh boy, the Deagle. Everybody loves this thing. For one, it is able to one-tap heavies, lights, and shields with edge, for some fucking reason. I don't know why. And it is also able to one-tap them on the body with the use of face-to-face. Except against shields. That's it. That's the only good part about this, is its capability of one-tapping 99% of the enemies at like a lot of good ranges. Let's talk about the downsides. Oh boy, there's a lot of them. Worse overall spread, worse recoil, worse stability, worse rate of fire compared to the others, and as well as its smaller magazine capacity and slightly slower reload speed. The only good thing is its capability of one-tapping enemies. That's it. Do I really need to say anything about this? No. Considering the fact that it's able to kill like 99% of the enemies on the body, which is bullshit, it shouldn't really need to say much. But at medium range it does suck ass because God, the recoil is terrible. Good luck aiming with this piece of shit. Because, like, the recoil is going to really fuck with your aim a lot. It is able to kill a bulldozer if you have the extended magazine. That's it. I can't really say anything else. Let's look at the pistols that are able to do a better job compared to the Deagle. The Castigo. You might lose your shit, but I have a very good reasons as to why I think this is better. For one, it has better recoil and as well as better stability, which is the number one problem the Deagle has. 3. It has a faster rate of fire. 4. It has better hipfire accuracy compared to the Deagle, meaning it is better at longer ranges. The only complaint is it's not able to one-tap enemies on the body, and one-tap shields. But then again, why does that matter? If you can land your hits, if you're someone that has good aim and you can land hits comfortably, just use the Castigo. Because it's literally better because it has better stability, recoil, hipfire accuracy, and rate of fire, and has faster reload speed. Sure, it only has 6 rounds in its magazine, but use Replenish and as well as Ammo Funnel or even Headhunter for that matter, it can do a better job compared to the Deagle if you're able to spam it. Because it can 2-tap enemies on the body and 3-tap heavy units on the body. It is weak against bulldozers, but if you have a primary weapon that is able to kill the bulldozer, what the fuck does it matter? It doesn't. And then there's the Sforza Bizon, which is like better than the other two at close range and medium ranges because of its faster rate of fire. The Sforza Bizon has better recoil and as well as better stability than the Deagle, but worse than the Castigo. And it has a faster rate of fire than the Deagle and as well as the Castigo. And the thing is, that reduced damage is not really going to be that much of a problem because it's already able to one-tap heavy units and as well as light units. And it still takes the same amount of shots to kill a shield, so it doesn't really matter. The only difference is the fact that it's not able to 2-tap enemies on the body against light units and 3 hits against a heavy unit, I think. But then again, like, if you're able to land your hits, this thing is better than the other pistols, and than the Deagle and as well as the Castigo. But then again, that really depends on what you want. I also forgot to mention that it has better hipfire accuracy than the Deagle, but worse than the Castigo, so keep that one in mind. Like I said, the Sforza Bizon is better than the Deagle at close range because of its faster rate of fire, and if you're able to land your hits, it does a better job than the Deagle because it has a faster time to kill compared to the Deagle. Sure, it struggles against shields, but like I said, just grab a primary weapon that is able to already do that job, and there's not much to think. It's like there's a solution to every problem. And the thing is, because of how better these things are, I don't think it really needs to say much, and And again, the only reason like the Deagle is better is because of its capability of one-shotting enemies on the body, and that's it. But that only really happens at close range, and landing headshots at close range is already easy enough. The only problem is that at medium range it is unable to one-tap them. But then there's the Castigo, which already fixes that problem. It's better at longer ranges. And then there's the Bizon, which is better at medium ranges. Be precise with the pistol, for fuck's sakes. Like, the weapon literally rewards you better than the Deagle, because it has a better recoil stability and rate of fire. Like, the thing is, a lot of these weapons, like, they're so easy to use. Like, a brainless prick can use this without having any problems. But like the other weapons I mentioned, like the SA, the Scar, and the AK and others, they reward you even better than the Adelig or maybe even the other meta weapons because their performance is better at certain situations. Like I said, the AK is better than the Adelig at longer ranges and medium range because of its better stability, recoil, and more solid handling and better ammo capacity. And the SA does a better job than the Adelig because of better damage, and it has a scope on it. But it sort of got overshadowed with quotation marks because the Adelig is an assault rifle with full auto capabilities. That's it. But if you have good trigger discipline, the SA already does a better job than the fucking Adelig. And then you have the FSA, which is like the best at close range, but really struggles ass against like medium and longer ranges. That's where the Reinfield pump shotgun and as well as the double barrel comes in. These things are better with the right skill investments, of course. But without them, they suck ass, except for the Reinfield pump, but you get the idea. With the right investment, these free weapons are able to do a better job than the FSA. These weapons, since day one, have always been good. But it's the concept of a weapon being paid means that it is better, which is not. The only paid weapon that is better than the free weapon is the Jacknife. That's it. That's the only pistol, or the only weapon throughout the history of Payday 3's DLC weapons. The Jacknife is the only one that's like literally better. It's basically the SP model, but better, because of its faster rate of fire, and that's it. That's the only good thing. The only good thing about the SP model compared to the Jacknife is it has better stability, recoil, and faster reload speed. That's it. But then again, it doesn't really matter. It's a straight upgrade, but then again, the SP model is still a good weapon. Like, the point I'm trying to make is that none of these are better than the free weapons. Yes, I know I'm probably throwing myself into hot fire, but that's true. The Adelig may be overpowered, but then there's the SA, which already does everything better than the fucking Adelig. There's the Deagle, but then you have something like the Sforza Bizon as well as the Castigo, which already does a better job than the fucking Deagle. And then you have the FSA and as well as the M7 Pursuivant, but then you have the Mosconi and as well as the Reinfield shotgun. Do I really need to go on? No, I don't. While yes, the FSA has better, faster time to kill than the other shotguns, but then again, these shotguns already have a very fast time to kill. It's like a few milliseconds faster maybe. That's it. So, in conclusion, free weapons are overpowered as well. They always have been. They've been since day one. But I guess considering how people are sort of ignorant in a way, and they're constantly reliant on meta weapons all the fucking time, they think that, oh, because they're using the meta weapons, that means their opinion are sort of good, which is not, because holy shit, I've seen so many Adelig users say like, oh, the Northwest sucks, or the Car 4 is the worst, and etc., which is like the worst fucking take you can say in human history. It's like saying the blue armor is worse than the adaptive armor, which is not fucking true. Like, there's so many bad takes that a lot of meta weapon users say that it literally blows my mind entirely. If you think that having to buy a weapon pack DLC means that you're able to perform a better job than the free weapons you have, then you're a fucking clown. Because the free weapons are already overpowered. They're all good. All of them are good. Sure, there are a few that are like slightly struggling. That's like the sidearms, but then again, like that's nothing. Then again, some pistols like the Glock and as well as the signatures are a little bit weak, but then again, that doesn't mean like they're worse. They're still good weapons. Do I make myself clear? I hope so. But either way, I hope this video gave you a better insight on how you should see the meta weapons and as well as the free weapons. Stop being ignorant, and please open your brain. I'm not talking to all of you, but I'm saying for the ones that are like so reliant on using the meta weapons. Now I'm not calling out the Adelig users. There are some that genuinely love the Adelig because it's a G3. They don't care about the stats, but they just simply use it for the sake of it's a weapon that they like. Like I, as an example, I love the AK. It is not because of the stats, but because it's an AK. And I love an AK-47 or an AKM in real life. Some people like the Adelig or the Deagle because it's a Deagle. They don't care about the stats. But people are so reliant on these weapons because of how, quote-unquote, overpowered they are. When there's like free weapons that already does a better job than these fucking things. But either way, I hope I made myself clear. I know this is more of like a rant and as well as a bit of a argument, but who cares? Anyway, I don't know what to do, and so I'm just gonna end it there. So, take care of yourselves, treat each other with respect, show some love and kindness to another, and I will see each and every one of you next time. Goodbye. Now get out of my house, you little shits.